Whoa, that's creepy. Whoa, that's all creepy. That is pretty creepy. This is very creepy. Boy, is that creepy. That's creepy. Wow, that is creepy. Which is very creepy. Boy, that's creepy. This is creepy. This is so creepy. That is very, very, very creepy. Well, that's creepy. That is very creepy. It's very creepy. This looks very creepy. Oh, this is creepy. Creepy. Creepy jars. Creepy. Oh, that's pretty creepy. A little too creepy. Very creepy. Creepy feeling. Creepy atmosphere. Creepy world. That's a little creepy. What was creepy about it? Creepy story. Creepy atmosphere. Creepy. Quite creepy. Such a creepy world. Pretty creepy. Creepy. That's creepy. 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 Oh, that's really creepy. Well, that's creepy. Okay, creepy. Look at this creepy thing. Creepy, huh? It is creepy. That's creepy. How creepy is that? That is very creepy. That's creepy. That is very creepy. All right, that's very creepy. Creepy diary pages. Boy, that's creepy. Story is creepy. Very creepy. Very creepy creature. This is all very creepy. Pretty creepy. That's creepy. That is very creepy. That's very creepy. Boy, that's creepy. Creepy spells. Very creepy words. That's very creepy. That was pretty creepy. A very creepy story still. Very creepy supernatural tale. Very creepy. Lots of creepy stuff. Kind of looks like a creepy thing. A creepy little skeleton. This is creepy. Oh, that's creepy. Creepy story and creepy weird story. Creepy. Oh, creepy. Pretty creepy. Creepy. Almost creepy looking. Yikes, that's creepy. Okay, that's a little creepy. 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 How creepy is that? Oh, that's creepy. How creepy was that? Creepy, creepy, creepy diary. Creepy. Very creepy. All right, well, that's creepy. This is a little creepy. That's a little creepy. That's creepy. That's pretty creepy. That's creepy. Whoa, that's creepy. That's creepy. That's creepy. The hands are creepy here. Boy, that's creepy. That's creepy. That's creepy. Okay, that's creepy. That's creepy. Some creepy stuff. That's very creepy. That's really creepy. This doctor's creepy. Creepy face. That is creepy. That's pretty creepy. Just a little bit creepy. Well, that's creepy. That's pretty creepy. Oh, a very creepy little... A very creepy dark shadow creature. Whoa, that's cool and creepy. Very creepy story. Very creepy. It's very creepy. This is creepy. This is very creepy. Creepy. All very creepy. That's creepy looking. Whoa, that's creepy. Whoa, that's creepy. This is creepy. There was some real creepy stuff. Creepy. We're so well done and creepy. Creepy witchcraft. A little bit creepy here. That's pretty creepy. Nothing too creepy. These are getting creepy. That's a little creepy. That's creepy. Really creepy. That's creepy. Okay, that's a little bit creepy. Okay, that's a little creepy. Nothing particularly creepy. Boy, that's creepy. In a creepy way. It was very creepy. Creepy about... A little bit creepy. Overtly creepy. That's creepy. Yeah, that's creepy. That's creepy. Oh, that's creepy. This is more creepy than the first letter. That's creepy. Creepy. That's creepy. Not at all creepy. This is very creepy. Creepy, huh? Okay, that's creepy. Very creepy. Boy, that's creepy. Very creepy. Very creepy. All this creepy... Boy, that's creepy. Creepy creature. Very creepy. Very creepy. Dark and creepy. Creepy evil spirit. Scary, creepy. Very creepy. Very creepy. 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 This is very creepy. Okay, that's creepy. A very creepy drawing. That's very, very creepy. Which looks creepy enough. Creepy. This is very creepy. Very creepy. Creepy meditation. Creepy stuff. There's creepy stuff in box 4. Creepy. Very creepy. Very creepy. That's creepy. Okay, very creepy. Very creepy. Very creepy. And there's a lot of very creepy stuff in this game. Creepy and couple creepy moments